The 11th. That is the date marked in the spiritual calendar. The day when everything changes. The day when they will end it all. And I know what you are thinking when you hear those words. Your heart probably skipped a beat. Your mind probably jumped to the worst possible interpretation. But stop. Breathe. Because what they are ending on the 11th is not what you fear. What they are ending is beautiful, necessary, divinely ordained. And it will open the door to something you have been praying for longer than you can remember. Let me tell you the story the way it needs to be told, with all the details that matter, with all the emotion it deserves, with all the truth that will set your anxious heart at ease. There is someone who has been living a divided life. You know them, you think about them, you pray about them. They are the person whose name appears in your quiet moments. The one who occupies space in your heart whether you want them to or not. And they have been living divided between what they know they should do and what they have been too afraid to do. Between where God is calling them and where comfort has been keeping them. Between the future they see with you and the past they have not fully released yet. On the 11th, they are ending that division. They are ending the life of hesitation. They are ending the season almost but not quite. They are ending every excuse, every delay, every reason they have given themselves for not moving forward. The 11th is the day they have marked on their personal calendar as the deadline for their own transformation. The day they stop being who they have been and fully step into who God is calling them to become. But let me take you back to show you how we got here. 3 weeks ago they woke up in the middle of the night with their heart pounding. It was that deep early morning hour when the world is quiet and the soul is loud. They had been dreaming about you. Not the romantic kind of dream that you forget by breakfast. But the kind of dream that feels like a message. The kind that sits heavy in your chest and demands to be paid attention to. In the dream, they saw the two of you together but older. There were children who looked like both of you. There was a home filled with peace. There were prayers being said together in the dim light of dawn. There was laughter around the dinner table. There was a life built on faith and commitment and genuine partnership. And when they woke up, they knew this was not just their imagination running wild. This was God showing them what is possible, what is written, what is waiting on the other side of their fear and hesitation. So they did what people do when they receive a message they cannot ignore. They prayed. They got out of bed in the darkness and they made ablution and they stood before God and they asked for guidance. They prayed a stikra that night. Not the quick version you say and forget, but the real version where you pour your heart out and ask God to show you clearly what you should do. They prayed about you, about whether pursuing you for marriage is the right path. About whether their feelings are from God or just their own desires. About whether they are ready. About whether you are the one. And then they did what you are supposed to do after a stikra. They waited for God to answer. The answer did not come in a loud voice from heaven. Came in signs. Small things that other people might dismiss as coincidence, but that felt like divine confirmation to someone who was paying attention. The next day, they overheard a conversation at work between two colleagues who were talking about marriage. One of them said something that struck like lightning. Said that the biggest regret in life is not the things you do, but the things you do not do because you were too afraid. Said that waiting for the perfect moment is how you end up waiting forever because perfect moments do not exist, you have to create them. They heard that and felt like God was speaking directly to them through those strangers' words. Then a few days later, they were visiting their parents, and their mother said something she had never said before. She asked when they were planning to get married. Asked if there was anyone special. Asked it in that tone mothers use when they are not just making conversation but genuinely hoping for news. And in that moment, they almost told her about you. Almost said your name out loud. But fear held their tongue. Fear of being too vulnerable. Fear of what if your family says no. Fear of what if you do not feel the same way. So they deflected, changed the subject. But that conversation haunted them for days. The signs kept coming. A week later, they were cleaning out some old things and found a note they had written to themselves years ago, before they knew you. A note that listed the qualities they were praying for in a spouse. When they read that list with fresh eyes, they realized that you embody almost everything on it. Your faith, your character, your kindness, your strength, your vision for building a God-centered life. It was all there in that old prayer written before they even knew you existed. And they understood that God had been preparing them for you long before they ever met. But still they hesitated. Still they held back. Still they lived in that painful in-between space of knowing what they should do but not doing it. Until last week when everything crystallized. They were at Friday prayer and the Imam gave a sermon that felt personalized. The Imam talked about tawakkul, about trusting God, about how we often pray for things, but then when God starts opening doors for those very things we become afraid and hold back. The Imam said that fear disguised as caution is still fear, and that sometimes the most faithful thing you can do is take action based on the guidance you have already received instead of endlessly asking for more signs. That sermon broke something open in them. They went home that afternoon and they sat in their room and they had a long, honest conversation with God. They confessed their fear. They admitted that they have been making excuses. They acknowledged that every sign they asked for they received, but they kept moving the goalpost because they were scared. And in that raw, honest moment of prayer, they felt peace. Not the absence of fear, but peace in spite of fear. Peace that whispered, move forward. Peace that said, I am with you. Peace that promised, if this is for me, I will make it easy, and if it is not, I will protect you. So they made a decision. They decided that on the 11th of this month, they would end their season of waiting. They would end their pattern of overthinking. They would end their habit of letting fear make their decisions. They chose the 11th because it felt far enough away to prepare properly but close enough that they could not talk themselves out of it. They marked it on their calendar. They told themselves that by the end of that day, one of two things would be true. Either they would have taken steps to pursue you properly, or they would have clarity that this is not the right path. No more living in limbo. Since making that decision, they have been preparing. They have been having conversations with their family. They started by talking to their mother. They sat her down and they told her about you. They spoke your name for the first time out loud to another person, and it felt both terrifying and liberating. They told their mother about your character, about your faith, about how you make them want to be better, about how every time they pray a stikara about you, they feel peace. Their mother listened carefully, asked thoughtful questions. I wanted to know about your family, wanted to understand if they had really thought this through. And by the end of that conversation, their mother said something beautiful. She said, if you have prayed about this and feel peace, then I trust God's guidance for you. She gave her blessing. Encouraged by their mother's response, they talked to their father too. That was harder. Fathers ask different questions, more practical ones. about readiness and responsibility and whether they can provide properly. But they answered honestly. They told their father they have been working hard, saving money, building stability. They are not perfect, but they are committed. They are not wealthy, but they are responsible. They want to do this right. I want to honor you by being ready. And their father saw the sincerity. I saw maturity, gave his blessing too. With their family's support secured, they have been preparing themselves mentally and spiritually. They have been praying more, reading the Quran more, asking God to prepare their heart and your heart for what comes next. They have been thinking about what they will say, how they will express their intentions. They want to be clear but not presumptuous, respectful but not vague. They want you to understand that this is serious, that they are not playing games or testing waters, that they have prayed and received guidance and now they are taking action based on that guidance. They have also been preparing practically. They have been getting their life in order, making sure their finances are stable, making sure their living situation is appropriate, making sure they can offer you not perfection but genuine readiness. They understand that approaching someone for marriage is not just about feelings. It is about being in a position to actually follow through on the commitment you are asking for. And now the 11th is almost here. In just days they will end their old way of being. They will wake up that morning and they will pray far, and they will ask God one more time for strength and wisdom. And then they will take action. If the approach needs to go through your family, they will make that contact. If they need to speak to you directly in an appropriate setting, they will do it. If they need to formally express their interest through proper channels, they will. The details of how may vary, but the intention is clear. By the end of the 11th, they will have made their move. Now I need to talk to you. You who have been praying about this person. You who have been wondering if they feel what you feel. You who have been patient but also confused by their hesitation. The 11th is coming for you too. It will be the day when uncertainty becomes clarity, when wondering becomes knowing, when the silence breaks and intentions are finally spoken out loud. But you need to prepare yourself too. You need to examine your own heart honestly. If this person approaches you properly, if they express serious interest in pursuing marriage, what will your answer be? Have you been praying about them too? Have you sought God's guidance? Have you received your own peace? Or have you been so focused on whether they would choose you that you have not stopped to ask yourself if you would choose them? You need to involve your family in your prayers now. You need to talk to your parents or trusted elders. You need to prepare them that someone might be approaching. You need to make sure your family is ready to evaluate this properly, to ask the right questions, to seek God's guidance on your behalf. Because this decision is too important to make alone or in haste. You need to pray istikara yourself if you have not already. You need to ask God to make it clear if this person is good for you, to open the path if they are right and close it if they are not, to give you peace about the right decision, to protect you from choosing based on emotion alone without wisdom and divine guidance. The 11th is coming. They will end their season of hesitation and step into their season of action. And when they do, your life will shift too. You will have decisions to make, conversations to have, prayers to intensify, path to choose. So use these remaining days wisely. Get your heart right with God. Get your family prepared. Get yourself ready to respond with wisdom and faith regardless of what that response needs to be. This is not a tragedy. This is not an ending to fear. This is a transformation to celebrate. The 11th marks the day when someone you care about stops letting fear control them and starts letting faith guide them. And that kind of courage, that kind of trust in God, that kind of commitment to doing things properly should inspire you, not scare you. So breathe, pray, trust. The 11th is almost here. And whatever it brings, it will be exactly what God has ordained. And God's plan is always better than anything we could have imagined for ourselves.